Thank you. Next up is Dan Kirby, who's director of a company called Tech Department. And Dan will be talking to us about how to use technology and web technologies to better reduce waste and bleed within marketing departments and to become more productive.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Well, how do I follow that? First, I can't dance like a wombat, but I could try. Okay. I've got the presentation. Yeah. Richard? Yeah, something's happening here. Richard? It is unplugged, actually. There we go. Have you got the clicker? Okay. There we go. Ironically, I run a company called Tech Department, so speaking at a conference called Green Unplugged, I feel like I might get thrown out any minute because we're very plugged in our company. But there's some interesting things that we've been working on recently, and in conversations with John actually, this idea that the web has a big role to play in reducing waste, particularly within marketing. I'll give you a bit of an insight about me. My name's Daniel Kirby. I'm a creative entrepreneur. I set up and build and run creative and digital companies. I've been building websites since about 1996-ish for people like Sony PlayStation, Dutchy Originals, BAFTA, people like that. I'm also a member of BAFTA. I'm very involved with the Video Games Awards and the Interactive Awards, things like that. So know about interactivity, web, how people use it. However, I'm a marketing guy. That's basically what I do. The company I run is a marketing company. And when you think about marketing and the web, you tend to think of things like that. You think about marketing communications, social media. There's a big talk about social media today, Twitter, sales, e-commerce. And really, that's for the majority of my career as a marketer working online and with the web. That's what I've been thinking about, and that's the way I've been working. But there's a big opportunity that the majority of people aren't, at the moment in the marketing world, aren't really thinking about. That's the web as a process change, as a process, a way of doing business. And that is because the creative process is best summed up by this slide, which I found is pretty much describes most of my working day. But in my experience in this industry, running a marketing team, working with agencies and getting something done is like herding cats. You all have been there, deadlines, media, agencies, briefs, teams. It's hard, it's difficult to keep that together, and it's an analogy that I think is very fitting. The web and the way in which you can approach using the web helps get rid of that issue, helps you to herd your cats. And at which point you might say, well, so, all right, Dan, that's very interesting, that's great, the web, marketing, etc. But this is a conference about green stuff, about sustainability. I mean, Dave's, I was a bit worried coming up here, because not only is that a fantastic speech, but it covers some incredibly serious issues that face the planet, and I'm here waffling on about a website, and I think, so why am I here? What's the point? The reason is that this is my office. As you can see, very efficient that we are. But the average office is full of stuff, and particularly marketing departments. I mean, I used to run a branding agency that used to do lots of retail point-of-sale work. And believe me, I've seen a lot of stuff get created and put in the bin because it just was too much. Right? So that's... If you think about your working day in a marketing department and the stuff that you create, the discs that you burn, the stuff that gets posted out, the ink that gets printed, the stationery that's used, and then the actual kind of means of distribution. There's a lot of kind of invisible, you talk about invisible sort of pollution, but there's invisible stuff that through your day-to-day working operations creates unnecessary waste, we believe. And this is something that as a theme recently we've been seeing there are ways you can tackle that, because ultimately what it creates, all this stuff that gets created in the marketing department and within a marketing agency, is waste. It creates stuff that goes in there, and I guess ultimately if through what we do day to day can be done better by using different ways of working, it helps reduce that, and ultimately that goes towards the issue of sustainability and then communicating sustainability. So that's why I'm here, in case you were wondering. There's three ways in which we've got a number of ways, but three ways that we believe that you can use the web to help reduce waste in your marketing department. The first is with workflow. I've got a case study. Some of you may or may not know this character. If you have children, you probably will. This is Underground Ernie. He's a kid's animation, voiced by Gary Lineker. Was for a while the most popular kids animation on the BBC CBeebies channel, more popular than Bob the Builder, very, very successful. I was actually running a brand agency called DKPM at the time, working with my technology team, who was the brand team, who was responsible for managing the licensing program for all the products you can see around here. And like most kids animations now, it has a range of stuff it creates, t-shirts, bags, what have you. And these are all created by licensees, who will be represented here by cats. See, there's a theme developing. But so there's a range of different stuff was created to help commercialize and actually get the return on the investment of making the program. The guys who made it invested a lot of money. So to try and get the return was to create the licensing program. So all the licensees creating all these products, all the concepts of the products, went through the brand agency. That's the brand agency, the visual, as you can see there. They've just woken up about this time of day. I was working there too, so that I do know. And the brand agency was then routing the proposed products, the designs, the ideas through to the rights holders, who was actually Transport for London and a company called Joella Productions. There was three different guys. There was not quite hundreds, there was tens of different licensees all over the world, all developing different products, a range of different SKUs of products. Had to go through one company and then to the rights holders and then back again. Now if you imagine the amount of amends and, apart from a branding point of view, but just getting the product right and got different product iterations, it's pretty kind of phenomenal. And I'll go back to this slide. The whole process looked like that. To manage that on email and by post. So what we did was to create an approval system online to manage the workflow. So all our cats here are generating our licensed products. But instead of posting that to the branding company and then posting it to the rights holders to look at it, the visual was taken and uploaded to a web-based system, JPEGs of the imagery. And then the branding agency say, yeah, or says, no, sorry, that's not on brand, you've missed off a logo, that's not great. And the message goes back to these guys, and they go back and create the next stage. So all that kind of legwork gets taken out. If it's a yeah, well, it goes in the system to the rights holders, who receive an email, and they log in, go into their dashboard, and give a yay or a nay, and that goes back, and everyone's notified. And suddenly, instead of email, post, couriers, print, it's all going through a web-based system. Very simple, very centralized. It reduces a lot of waste and a hell of a lot of cat herding. The second example is in procurement, and this is kind of interesting, and I'm going to be working on a concept at the moment for a national retailer to do with photography. And what we're finding is, imagine you have to retail a fizzy drink, could be anything. What tends to happen is a product sample is created, and there's only a few of these things, and they're sent to the different agencies, so the advertising agency, the PR agency, the point of sale agency, the web company, and the printing company. And all of these different departments or different agencies need to photograph the fizzy drink bottle in order to promote it. And put it into the context in which it lives. And all of these guys have their own photography, preferred photographers or photography company. And what ends up happening with the fizzy drink bottle is you get this kind of slow move around the country where it's couriered around cities or across